Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
We're back, man. Episode 175.
Yes, sir.
But episode number 2 for
the visual content
for YouTube, man. Yeah. I know some of you guys are probably confused to see this shit. They're like, "What the fuck? Where are the other 173 episodes at?"
Yeah,
but
we just popped up with the, you know what I'm saying, 170s.
We did this shit very untraditionally.
Yeah,
I think I made a mistake because aren't you supposed to like not curse within like the first minute to like help the algorithm?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I heard somebody saying like don't curse for the first 1 minute. Guess they're trying to make YouTube more like family friendly.
Yeah, but pussy juice is not very family friendly. No, that's how you make a family though. That's facts.
Yeah. That's facts. Was that me?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
I don't got an Android no more.
Oh yeah, but I tend to like have my volume and shit off because it's disrespectful to the listeners, and I don't want people hearing like my phone going off. We actually respect your guys' time. But enough of that. Let's get right into the topics. Lil Nas X video. Recently he came out with a video, man, and the song is dope. First and foremost, I think that this is the song of the summer with him and Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
I think that song is fucking dope.
Yeah, that song was pretty dope.
Right? But beyond that, it's another extreme that we're seeing from Lil Nas X. Now, here's the thing. You'll get scrutiny for saying like, yo, like it's a lot going on. Like the song was dope until I seen naked dicks in the video, man. Well, the song was dope regardless, even with the dicks in it. But I'm listening.
The song is dope. The video is different.
The video is different. Like when I heard the song, I told Keith, I was like, this shit fire. And he was like, hey, check that video out, bro. Check that video out, bro.
I told you, I was like, bro, I think it could go further if he's not as flamboyant in the video. Right. I think that like it's more palatable for kids, it's more palatable for, you know, even people that aren't necessarily homophobic, but they just don't care for the overt sexuality.
100%. But see, the pushback on that will be like, well, they don't make it more palatable when they got girls twerking in the video and talk about killing people. And it's like, that's a fact. That's a truth.
Yeah.
But what we also have to realize is the average person is not gay. Right. Yeah. So I think that's where the pushback comes from, is where like they're not used to seeing it. Now, to keep the same energy, me and Keith feel like a lot of rap videos are over sexualized anyways. Like all the twerking and the ass shaking, it's just unnecessary to me. Like if you're a dope MC, you a dope MC. But if I feel like it's oversaturated to have a bunch of big asses in the videos, imagine how I feel about seeing actual dicks.
Yeah,
I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah,
I think Lil Nas X is pandering to this extreme now, and it's gonna get old. And the thing about him though is he is dope. I like the EP that he came out with, and this song with Jack Harlow is dope. And I honestly, genuinely don't give a fuck about him being gay. Had this been the '90s too, I think it would be a lot more homophobic. I think that no one would collaborate with him.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get like a guy like Lil Nas X back in that day in the 90s to like collaborate with like Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and all of that, because that was a very homophobic time.
Yeah, I don't even think he would be out.
No, not at all.
You know, somewhere hiding in a closet.
Yeah.
I think all of that. I think he's pandering to like. I think most. How would I say this? I think he puts music as like the B side of everything he does.
True.
I think the A side tends to be, because even coming out with the video like directly after the song, and not even letting the song like marinate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
there was intention.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think probably all the singles he's released. Well, I don't know. I guess the last call. What does it call her? Call Me by Her Name, or what is this song called? Montero, Call Me by Her Name. Whatever. Call Me by Your Name or something.
Right.
Like ever since that song came out, it's been like, I'm going to make this very flamboyant take on my sexuality, and people are going to talk about it, and that's what's going to get the song popular.
Right.
Not necessarily that the song is good or not. And he makes good music. Like the music is good enough to be good on its own, but it's just like, I think that these videos are created to spark a conversation.
Yeah.
And like you said, after you do that for so long, like when the next video comes out, I don't know what the next single is or whatever, but when the next video comes out and you're doing the same thing, it's going to be like, oh, it's just Lil Nas X. And
yeah, but here's the thing though, he's making good enough music to really do this. Like his music that he makes is decent enough for him to do this. But once he has a fall off, that's when he's going to be done.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is he's dope enough. Here's the thing. If like Carl Nassib, that for the Raiders that came out as gay, right? When he came out as gay, he didn't make some big splash. He just said, hey, my name's Carl Nassib and I'm gay, right? And then we was like, oh, that's cool, right? And we just left it alone. But it's like this like flamboyant, extra flamboyant stuff, it's not like you guys are being homophobic because you're not allowing him to be himself. It ain't that. It's that he is doing the extreme for attention. And since he's very young, he doesn't get how this shit can backfire.
Yeah.
You know, it backfires actually on rappers who are heterosexual because they music don't match what's going on. If you got a dope ass song, it's dope as fucking. You got booty in the video, right? People are gonna be like, oh, they're not gonna trip. But if you just got a bunch of booty in the video and you whack, then they're gonna be like, I ain't listening to this shit.
Yeah.
Like the booty is not enough to keep them entertained or to keep them invested in your content.
Yeah.
The same way that the average person is heterosexual and you got actual dicks in the video, like they doing dick handshakes in prison, yo. Like that shit was wild.
That is super wild.
But I watched the whole video. Like it was some people that did reaction videos. That, like a lot of people doing these reaction videos of Lil Nas are just corny. Because they like, oh no, I'm turning this shit off. Fuck this. It's like, bro, you already seen the video. You knew there was guys in there.
I'm turning this off. It's 3 minutes into the video.
Yeah, I'm turning this off. I'm turning this shit off. You're like, all right, man, we know what the fuck you're doing.
I think the most awkward thing is I think for Lil Nas X the actual sexuality is going to get old, and not his sexual preference, just the sexuality of the videos, like having guys in there dancing naked or twerking on the devil or whatever. I think that's going to get old. I think it kind of got old with like Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj. I think I think those I don't think it has the same like effect that it used to when they come out and they're twerking and stuff like that or wearing
They did an interview recently with Meg Thee Stallion. You know what she said?
What's that?
She's like, you know how them sound effects make it sound?
Yeah.
Take his money, then I ride it.
Yeah. But I think that the thing that was most awkward for me when I watched the video is it's this like this pride. It's almost like a pride, an ode to Pride Month. Watching the video, and then all of a sudden Jack Harlow come in and he got this white girl rubbing all over his chest and stuff. It's just like,
But Jack Harlow, believe it or not, subliminally, he had to let you know how heterosexual he was
because he knew if he was in that video
just
and it
rapping,
was just like rapping, it would be like, yo. First of all, you gay. Second of all, you like black men.
If he's like, yeah, I'm so-and-so. And if he'd had no girl with a booty in there, he was just rapping.
Yeah.
And like the last scene, it was dicks. Like they was twerking with dicks out. And then here you just pop up like, yeah.
It was a conscious effort on his part to make sure that everyone knew he was heterosexual.
Yeah.
But it's funny because him and, that dude, the comedian, Drewski, yeah. They be having like little like sexual innuendos back and forth sometimes as like a joke or whatever. But it's funny that he came out and on the biggest, maybe his biggest platform yet, he had to make sure it was known that he liked women.
Yeah, I think that the whole hip hop and homosexuality stuff, it's like this is not new too because. Remember, Eminem had said some homophobic shit about Elton John, and then they end up doing a song together. Yeah. And then they held hands on the stage, and then he rose his hand up. You remember that? Yeah. So it's like, this shit is like, this is not the first time, but I just think that now there's more acceptance for LGBT, gay, trans people now than ever. Yeah. Right? And
I will say, though, that is Jack Harlow and Eminem are white.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that, I don't think black people are any more or any less homophobic than any other race.
I would say more.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. You think about like the conservative people in the South, like how homophobic. I just don't like that stereotype because it perpetuates a narrative that there's no statistics to back it up. It's
That's
just
true.
like, whatever.
It's just, yeah.
But I will say that, like, I'm curious to know what rapper would have hopped on that. Like, what black male rapper would have hopped on that.
Now, Nas
song.
did a song with him.
Yeah.
Like Big Nas.
Yeah, but I'm saying the subject matter was
with the dicks out.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't doing that. Can you imagine Jay-Z like, yeah, I'm the best of the best, yeah. And then the next scene is dicks.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, that'd be crazy. It'd be Alicia Keys and Jay-Z featuring Lil Nas. In new dicks, concrete penis where dreams are made of.
That sounds crazy. Concrete penises.
That's crazy. Man, yeah, but this video was hard, man. This video was hard, just like the dicks in the video.
Oh my god.
Oh man, but like multiple things are true. Here's an article.
Another point too is I think do you know how old he is?
I'm not sure, man. I know he's young.
I understand, like, I don't know when. He's probably been around for what, 3 years now.
Roughly.
Because my point has something to do with his age. I just want to see how old he is.
Got the words in the
It's
Bible.
22. So
wow.
The
so young.
Old Town Road probably came out when he was probably like 18 years old, something like that. But I think that there's always been this, especially as pop artists, like there's always been this huge like stepping out when they become of a certain age, you know
True.
what I mean? Like when they, like you see like with the Britney Spears and the Justin Timberlakes, and you got Justin Bieber now talking about smoking weed and songs and stuff
Yummy.
like that. Yeah, so
That song Yummy it's catchy, but he's talking about eating pussy.
yeah.
She got that yummy,
Yeah.
yum. And it's little kids singing
I
it,
heard
not
Lil
knowing.
Nas X made a remix called "He Got That Come."
Little baby, go to work. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, I think like that's part of his. I'm an adult now. I'm comfortable with myself. Like I'm making this very over the top sexual music. So.
Yeah, he is totally. But there's a good cause tied to this, and it basically says Lil Nas X twerks in prison, theme industry baby music video, and raises funds for the Bail Project. It says the highly anticipated music video for his latest single featuring Jack Harlow, Industry Baby, is here, and all his wretchedness and his fans expected, and then some. Okay, nobody gives a fuck about that. I just want to see where he said stressed down. No, it isn't theoretical. No. I hate these articles where it's a bunch of fucking fluff. Mm-hmm. Basically, to make a long story short, he raised funds for the Bail Project.
That's dope.
Which is a dope cause, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if they're doing the same dick handshakes in jail, but I think they appreciate Lil Nas X for what he's doing. So shout out to him. I don't know why right now, but like an article with Kanye popped up with a mask on his face. Did you see that shit? He has like a whole stocking over his face. You didn't see that? Mm-mm. Yeah, he was walking. He was like at some soccer game or some event, and it was like, "Hey, it's Kanye! Oh my God, I can't believe it's Kanye!" And he looked like, when people used to rob banks and put like a pantyhose or some shit over their face. Mm-hmm. That's what he was wearing on his face.
You got the picture?
Fuck, I think I took it off.
Oh. Yeah. Kanye is I don't know, he's a very interesting person.
I'm Mr. Soul Kanye, straight from the soul Kanye. I got mental illness. I got mental illnesses. Yo, man. You gotta love Kanye West. I don't know why it came over me to text Keith this, but the other night I texted him, I said, Kanye West is the most influential man besides Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night. Yeah.
Kanye had people waiting in a freaking football stadium for 2 hours.
Yeah.
For him to come out.
That's nuts, man.
That's wild.
I don't understand what Kanye has, but and then Kanye could just do so many things and just move on and nobody questions it. Mm-hmm. Like Kanye literally ran for president, but that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But he was a huge Trump supporter, and then he like distanced himself from Trump.
Now he Christian.
That's
crazy.
This nigga now he gonna come out and say like, I am a giraffe. And people gonna believe him.
Trans animal.
I am a trans animal.
That's
man. that nigga's pronoun is like he a black man and a horse, so he a borse. I am a borse.
That's crazy.
Oh man. I divorced Kim Kardashian so I could be a trans animal.
That's wild.
Oh man. Yeah. All right. Let's switch gears, man. Switching gears. Deion Sanders walks away from an interview. I hope I got the fucking article. Jeez. I should have it here. Well, to make a long story short, because I can't locate the article for some reason, Deion Sanders was approached by, I think it was a Barstool interviewer. Do you have the thing up or no?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he was a Barstool interviewer, and he opened up the conversation to Deion Sanders, and he says, all right, Deion, so how do you feel? He's like, hey, man, don't be calling me Deion, man. You don't call Nick Saban. You don't call Nick Saban Nick, do you? And he was like, okay. But Deion spoke to him in a way in which the guy was supposed to already assume what he was supposed to call him, right? So after that, the guy was just like, the interviewer and the interviewee both had egos, because after that, he was like, okay, all right, Deion. So how do you feel? He's like, hey, man, I told you already, man. You know what, man? You know what? And he just got up and he left.
Yeah.
And what I took from that is this. What I took from that is sometimes people are so great at something, whether it's basketball, football, it could be a girl that's super beautiful, pretty. Like sometimes when people are really good at something or known for something, that ego that they have bleeds into their life. So they feel almost like everyone should be lucky to see them, right? And I love Deion, man. I think Deion is dope. He's the best corner ever to play the game. But let's be clear, you are still a human being.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to submit to your ego. If you are disrespectful to me, then I'm going to be like, okay, and all right, Deion. Like me personally, I will call somebody what they want to be called. Like if they say, hey, I want you to call me Coach Deion, I'd be like, okay, all right, Coach Deion. So how do you feel about this? But you really don't have to do that. You don't have to, especially if you're a person with integrity, you don't have to like dilute yourself in order to make this motherfucker happy, And yeah, so I think it was definitely ego, and hopefully, well, he's not gonna learn. He's Deion Sanders. He's not gonna fucking learn. And he still doesn't give a fuck. I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
I think when you're a guy like Deion, you've been the best athlete in your class for probably since you was a little kid. You've always been the fastest. You went to Florida State. You get drafted. You didn't. I forgot his combine story, but I think he just ran the 40 and then walked out and hopped in a Mercedes or, something like it's, first of all, he's always had an ego. And second of all, like he's always had the skill set to kind of uplift his ego in a sense. I'm sure there's always been a bunch of coaches that have always said like, yo, you the best, Deion, like, and just his
yes.
Always getting compensated.
Yes.
Like he is the best. And then after you retire, you still are like, you still prime time. You still a person that people want to talk to doing interviews and, working for different, NFL, commentating networks and whatnot. He's too old for that type of thing to be corrected at this point. Like to be humble to try to humble him at this point, it just doesn't.
It's too late.
It just doesn't work. Yeah. So that's one thing. And I think that the way he reacted initially when I saw it, I was like, man, it might be true. Like it might be a thing to where like there's some sort of racial undertone or, he may be speaking to him like very casually, but they don't do that to other coaches. And then somebody brought up the video where they called Nick Saban Nick.
It's a compilation.
So many times. I looked up a video with Steve Kerr. I was just like, man, let me just check the temperature to see.
Right.
Especially Steve Kerr being another former athlete and,
right.
Kind of being in a similar position. Let me see what they would say to Steve Kerr. And the first thing they said is, hey, how you doing, Steve Kerr? Or not even Steve Kerr. They were like,
Steve.
how you doing? Like, how you doing, Steve?
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, exactly. Called him by his first name. So after that, I was just like, man, this is blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
I think even on the reporter end, I think that he kind of stood on something that was not necessarily worth dying for.
No.
you know, like Eddie said, like if the man wanted to be, I don't know what he wanted to be called, if he wanted to be called Coach Sanders or Coach Deion or whatever the case may be. You are there to interview him. Like he's the person that you want to get the questions from. So in that case, you could have put your pride aside and called him whatever he wanted to be called. So to basically have that conversation and then go against his wishes in that way was disrespectful too. But basically what happened is just two egos clashing. Yeah. And no one in that party was willing to put their pride aside.
Yeah, but what sucks too is when you live your whole life, and not to mention when you refer to yourself in third person, that is all ego. You know when Prime, as at Prime Time, he liked to get busy, and you'd be like, you're talking about yourself, and he normalized talking about himself. Anyone that talks about themselves in third person is definitely ego driven. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And the thing about it, man, is I never want to be there. I never want to be that person. I'm not saying Deion's a bad guy, but I'm not going to walk around assuming that everyone should agree with how great I think I am. Mm-hmm. That's like me saying like basically, if you don't listen to this podcast, you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. Because this is great. Yeah. And it's like, no, like that's just not how the world works. But so many people have stroked your ego, and a lot of people have probably literally stroked your cock because you're a professional athlete. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because he talked about he had an addiction to women.
Girls probably was jacking him off with Jerry curl juice.
Yeah, they probably just rubbing his head, getting the juice and jacking him off. He like, Primetime, love that. Primetime, love when you get the grease and jack me off.
Anybody talking in third person while they having sex is crazy.
Yeah, jack Prime off. Get Prime going now.
It's prime time, dick, baby.
Monday Night Football. I'm going Jerry Rice tonight.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's weird. But I got an article here. If it probably sheds a little more light on the situation. Deion Sanders leaves interview after reporter calls him by his first name twice. Don't do that. Now it says, while former NFL and MLB player Deion Sanders may have gone by his nickname Primetime during his playing days, he prefers to be called Coach today. And make no mistake about it, according to ESPN, Sanders, the head coach of the Jackson State football team, corrected a reporter who referred to him by his first name during a media event on Tuesday. You don't call Nick Saban Nick, don't call me Deion, Sanders, 53, told the reporter from the Clarion Ledger. If you call Nick Saban Nick, you'll get cussed out on the spot. He continues, so don't do that to me. Treat me like Nick. Sanders, you just called him Nick. All right. Sanders, who led the Jackson State to a 4-3 record last year, then walked out of the event after being
you deserve to be called Deion with a 4-3 record.
4-3, man. Primetime 4-3.
His record is his 40 time. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Primetime won 4 games. You better respect me. Oh, man. Yeah. Then walked out of the event after being referred to by his first name for a second time. Clarion Ledger reported Sanders later posted footage of the moment to his Twitter account, which showed him walking away from the camera following an interaction with reporter Nick Suss. This dude's name is Nick Suss.
We gotta do better.
That's hilarious. This is just fucking hilarious. But I seen when I seen this, I went to Twitter and they had compilation videos of Nick Saban, Steve Kerr, and a bunch of other coaches. Hey Nick, hey Nick, hey Nick, hey Nick, hey Nick, hey Nick, hey what's up Phil? Hey Steve. It was all fucking ego. There's a bunch of people, especially black.
More accomplished.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people, not even that, but it's a bunch of people, especially black people, that jumped out the window because of this shit. Because it's Deion Sanders, like, oh man, they disrespecting a black man because he a black man, he doing this. And it's like, nah, bro. Like, not every situation is like that. Sometimes motherfuckers' egos are so big that they can't believe that the general public is not sucking their cock at all times. Yeah. And that's a problem. Yeah. That's like, I don't have expectations of how someone should perceive me. Yes, they should respect me. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to reach. Like, if we're cool and I can see that you're just doing an interview and you doing your job, then we're good. Yeah. I remember one time I seen an interview with Snoop Dogg. And look, with all due respect, no disrespect to Snoop Dogg, he was about to do an interview and the dude said, oh, you're kind of late. But how do you feel about it? It's like, I'm late, nigga. Why you gotta say that, nigga? I'm here, ain't I, nigga? I'm here. Bitch ass nigga, you lucky I'm here. Like, it basically was a, he responded with ego. Mm-hmm. If you really, like, you legitimately late, I don't give a fuck how big I get. I would apologize. Mm-hmm. I would apologize, literally. If I'm late to something and it's like, I would apologize to everybody that waited on me. I think that that's common courtesy. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm where, I don't care if I'm Jeff Bezos, whoever. If I said I'd be somewhere at 7 p.m. and I don't get there till 7:50, chances are there are probably over 100 or X amount of people that have been waiting on me to get there. So if I just show up and do it and don't apologize, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I think some people don't realize how important the media is. So, right. And I'm not in a position to actually even having a real opinion about it. But when I did look up that video, before Steve Kerr took any questions, he was just like, hey, before I take any questions, I just want to say I thank all you guys for coming here. He's like, I know it's been difficult because of COVID and stuff like that, but, I just want to thank all you guys for being so patient with us. Boom. And then he starts his interview.
Yeah, 100%. What's annoying to me, though, is so many people have the same take about situations like this. It's so annoying. Like, you go to YouTube and be like, well, it'll say like, you cannot disrespect a Hall of Famer who deserves to be called what he want to be called. And it's just everybody with the same video. Mm-hmm. Everybody. You know what I noticed is a Instagram influencer or a popular person could post some shit that's fucking stupid as fuck, right? And if you push back on it in the comments, everybody's gonna attack you because that's Drake or that's Meek Mill. And you could be making a comment that's very sound in logic, but the fact that so many people suck that dude's dick, everybody's gonna be like, oh, you a hater. Why you hating on them?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like, I'm making sound judgment. I don't give a fuck who this person is. Like, if I'm out of bounds, let's say, for example, instead of getting 62 views like we did last week on YouTube, let's say we get 693,000 views, right?
Yeah.
And somebody pushes back on what I said and they say, actually, Eddie is incorrect about something. Like, actually, that was done in 1945 and not 1960 something. And I look it up, I'm going to go respond to the comment like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for finding that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to have an ego and be like, man, why you being a hater trying to correct me on everything? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah. The facts are the facts.
Right. Mm-hmm. Not enough people are able to go against their own ego, especially when their ego's been stroked their whole existence.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let's say, by the way, you play football. That's great. That's great. You play football. Best corner ever. But like in the grand scheme of like what you do in the world, it's fucking minor.
Yeah, it's not that. Like, and once you retire from football like that the peak of your popularity is not there anymore.
Yes.
Like you see a lot of these guys. Like, my favorite wide receiver of all time is Terrell Owens. And he's just kind of a shell of himself because he's not an athlete anymore. You know what I mean? He's just kind of an older guy. He pops up on different sports shows and stuff like that, but he's not running routes in the NFL anymore. So it's not the same. So
not at all. Yeah, if you take anything from this, man, be hyper aware of your ego and how it can allow you to move. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, you are a human being. You live on earth. You bleed like everyone else. Mm-hmm. So, not only should you should be confident in yourself. Mm-hmm. You should be like, you know what? Hey, I am important. I am the best at this. I am good at this. That's fine. But don't let that idea of yourself project on how you treat others. Because if you just storming out of buildings and storming off set because your ego is allowing you to do that, then that's also a problem.
Yeah.
Switching gears. Smash or pass videos. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with these smash or pass videos, but they're basically a young group of men and women, right? And these young men and women line up and they walk down a line and basically say if they would fuck the person or not. These videos are all over YouTube and they're trash.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible. It's almost like live Tinder. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. And it's like the metrics that they choose to say, like they're using smash or pass, like whether you would fuck the person or not. And it's just terrible. But basically it was this video specifically, and this there was a short guy. He probably was about 5'6" or something, 5'5", and each girl was just like destroying him. I'm talking about women complain about body shaming. They're like, oh my God, I'm just body shaming. I don't know why men body shame us, and this isn't right. Literally every fucking girl in that video shitted on that dude because he was 5'6". Mm-hmm. They was like, you already know why I can't smash. Like, you a midget. Sorry.
She called him a midget.
Literally said, you a midget. Sorry. And she went like this. She's like, sorry, you a midget. You a midget. Sorry.
Was she taller than him?
She was taller than him. And then other girls that were barely taller than him were like, yeah, you already know why I can't do it. Then the next girl. Then the next girl like, yeah, no. Another girl. Nope. And I'm talking about this guy specifically was getting fucking abused.
Yeah.
Ladies, is that not...
What was he acting like? What was he...
He just was like trying to play it cool, but it was fucking him up.
I bet, man.
It's fucking him up. He didn't do nothing wrong but be short. That's fucked up.
You know what I will say? I'll let you finish. But I don't know if you remember that example I gave of the Monopoly game where they did the study to where, or even the test what they did in prisons with the correctional officers.
Yeah.
I think there's a correlation here, right? Because I don't know what the game is like, but from what my understanding, it's like the females get to walk up to the men and say,
it's just a line. They one by one they walk to the next dude and be like, smash, pass, smash. Like that's all it is.
So in that moment, they are the correctional officer, or they are the person in the Monopoly game that gets the extra go around every time. So I think what happens is you start to you get a authentic response, but it's almost like this hyper situation to where they're going to say like the most
wild shit.
Yeah, because they are empowered, or they are empowered in that situation. So
yeah. And I noticed like this is a regular thing in society. Yeah. Where we look at these one-sided narratives where women being body shamed, and I'm sure that it's obviously it's a real thing, but women never take note to how much they shame men. Yeah. Even on dating profiles, they'll be like, I'm sorry, but if you're not 6 foot or taller, don't even hit me up. Yeah. You see this shit.
I've seen it before, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Not only that, like, if you're not making at least this much or whatever the case, that like women shame men either the same rate or just around the same. Yeah. And the reason why I say that too is because they'll go, like if somebody says something in the comments they don't like, they was like, yep, that's why your dick is little. Then they start shaming a man's penis size. I don't know if women know this, so we need to make sure we make this very clear on the podcast. The average dude's not 6 foot. Yeah. Like I'm 6'2" and some change. So I represent like 3.9% of men in America.
I'm 5'11" and a half.
Yes, he's 5'11", 6 foot. Yeah. And there's only like,
if you round it up, you feel me?
It's like 9. So you're like 6% of America. Yeah. Right? So think about this, ladies. Think about before you shame a dude for being short, right? Oh, by the way, the average dude don't got a 9-inch dick. Yeah. So that's why it's called an average penis.
Because most people have it.
Most people have it.
Balances out.
Yeah. Or you're slightly above average. Or every dude don't got a big dick. So women will shame a dude saying he got a small dick and think nothing of it. Yeah. But if you told a woman like your titty saggy, you overweight, oh God, they couldn't fucking take it.
And that's the conversation between girls too. Like, I just hope he don't got no little dick.
Oh yeah.
But imagine if guys was talking around like, yo, I just took this girl out. I met this girl on Tinder. I just took her out on a date. Hope she don't got no dry pussy, man. That's gonna be a deal breaker.
I hope it don't. And what's weird too is how comfortable women feel about objectifying dudes. And here's the thing. Like, I know there'll be a lot of pushback from women like, oh my God, that is what men do. Yes, men totally objectify women. That's a big fact. But women, y'all do it too. There's a show called The View. That's a panel of women. And when Nick Foles won the Super Bowl from the Philadelphia Eagles, they talked about a rumor going around that the quarterback Nick Foles had a big penis, right? And they were on The View literally calling him Big Dick Nick. Yeah, they call him Big Dick Nick. They say his dick bigger than anybody on the team. And they was
That's
literally
not
having
crazy.
conversations about a man's genitalia that they didn't know. Imagine if me and Keith got up here and we talked about a woman and said, I heard she has some wet pussy. We call her Wet Pussy Jessica. We would get fucking canceled.
Wet Pussy Wendy.
Yeah, Wet Pussy Wendy. You gotta rhyme it. Wet Pussy Whitney. Wet Pussy Wendy. We would get fucking canceled. So
funny.
what we have to do is this. We are aware of the things that happen to women, you know, whether it be the body shaming or whatever. But stop these one-sided fucking narratives. Cause y'all be abusing dudes.
Yeah.
Completely abusing guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's nuts,
And
man.
it'd be the average women that are doing this.
Yeah, you average. And look, ain't nothing wrong with average. I like average women because I'm an average dude. Right? But it'd be the average women thinking that they deserve a nigga up here.
Yeah.
Right? What if we told women, like, they'll be like, if you're not 6 foot or taller, don't hit me. What if I said, if you got more than one kid, I ain't fucking with you?
Yeah.
What if I said that? You'd be like, oh my God, you're shaming single mothers.
If you ain't got C cups, don't call me.
If your titties ain't at least a C cup, don't hit me up.
Yeah.
You can't live in a world that only compliments your arguments or your struggle. It's everybody out here struggling. And I know men personally who are not very tall who have wild insecurities from being short because of how much they've been beat down.
Yeah.
Like they go on a date, they meet the girl up front, and she's like, I have to go somewhere.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, I had a roommate. He was, excuse me. He didn't do much for himself. Like he wasn't working out or anything.
Right.
But he had a lot of his insecurities lied because he was short.
That's sad.
You know, and he was really genuinely thinking about doing that surgery that makes you taller.
That's crazy. And it's crazy how many men go through this shit and no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Because when you're a man, you're basically supposed to be built to take abuse.
Oh, for sure.
You're supposed to be taking. And it was crazy too is we live in a world where I've seen this a million times. Where women will say, and it's not all women that say this shit, because there are a lot of women that do appreciate men. But then there are a lot of them that just say shit like men are trash, men are useless. Do we even need men anymore? Let me be very fucking clear. Okay, 77% of healthcare workers are women. 77%. So if a bunch of women didn't decide to show up to work, it'd be a lot of dead motherfuckers, right? So with that being said, how dumb would I look saying women are trash, women are useless? Chances are I'm going to have to rely on a woman to save my fucking life.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that women have value and I should respect women.
Yeah.
However, it's a lot of women that don't respect men and shit on them, but the very roads you drive on, men built that road. The very gas you put in your tank, men drove that flammable gasoline. I'm one of them. Okay? Those skyscrapers you see, men built that shit. Have some fucking respect. That's my thing. It shouldn't just be this one-sided narrative where it's like, and by the way, as a collaborative, we make this shit work. America works based on the contributions of men and women.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is like, when you say men are worthless, men are trash, you're not talking about us. You're not talking about me and Keith. You talking about the weak-ass men that you've experienced in your life. You talk about your baby's daddy. You're not talking about us.
Yeah, because I'm 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You know.
This is a tall podcast.
We ain't talking about your 5-foot boyfriend.
I think though overall, I think there's from women there's a lack of care for the feelings or the gripes of men. I think that
True.
It's with the whole body shaming, with just even one of my friends, he was talking about, and I don't want to give too much away, but basically he was having this disagreement with his girl, and his girl suffers from like mental health issues in a sense, but he was saying through their relationship he has to manage that. Like that's part of being in the relationship. Like, I have to do this. I have to, make sure I care for her, put her in different positions to make sure she's good. Listen to her when she's feeling a certain way. But he was saying first of all, it gets difficult and it's tiring at times. It's definitely taxing. But he's saying I don't get the same respect when I'm coming to her with my issues, or if I do come to her about something, it's just a generic like, oh, I'm sorry, baby, I'm here for you if you need me.
Yeah, I think women have a very skewed view of what it is to be a man. Like, they'll say shit like, I wish I didn't have feelings like a man, and you'd be like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
You know how many times I've had my feelings hurt by women and I just had to just pick up the pieces and figure it the fuck out?
Yeah.
Women will write a whole biography about having their feelings hurt, and everybody got to hear it and kumbaya and hug her and shit.
Yeah.
But men, we don't get that treatment. We get cheated on, left. We get fucking alimony and shit, child support, all of that. Don't nobody have no empathy for us.
Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a fuck. That's one of the number one things you learn as a man is people do not give a fuck about your feelings.
That's the thing. Like, and as a man, you just almost have to learn to protect yourself at all times, no matter if it's a friendship or your parents or your wife or whatever. You always have to do for yourself more than anybody, because I think just in general, most people in the world are always going to look out for themselves. So, when you're a person you try to be a genuinely nice person, you try to be a giving person, a person that helps people. People will take advantage of that. And then sometimes you just got to give them a wake up call. Like, yo, like, I have real feelings too. Like it's cool that you're suffering from some sort of, mental health issues. But at the same time, like, I also go through things that I need to get off my chest sometimes too.
100%. I think that it's weird that just society in general, like, I feel like emotions, feelings, and shit like that has been reserved for only women and children.
Yeah. And
it's like, if you're a man, you're supposed to be the person that women lean on. But when it comes time to do it back the other way, they're not even used to it. Women also complain, like, why can't men just like express themselves, this and that? Because they've never been given the proper platform to ever do it. When you a young boy and you fall down, they say, get up, you better man up.
Yeah.
You get taught that at a very young age. You can't sit there and cry because they're gonna tell you to get up. So from a very young age, you were told to subliminally or indirectly, like, yo, your feelings ain't the only feelings that matter is your sister's, not yours.
Yeah.
Get up off the ground. You could bust your mouth open. Hey, get up.
Yeah.
That's the world that we grow up in.
I'm reading this book. It's called The Relationship Cure.
Right.
And it's about like overall relationships, not necessarily like romantic relationships. And there's these things called bids. Bids are like basically like, it could be, it could be a question, it could be a complaint, it could be any of these sort of things, but it's like, it's shaped in the form of some sort of like emotional connection. If I come in here and I'm like, man, work today was crazy, and then we chopping it up about work. So what happens, there's a couple ways that you can react to a bid as a person receiving the bid, right? You can either turn towards it, turn away from it, or turn against it. For the sake of this conversation, we'll just focus on like turning against it or turning towards it. So I'm saying that to say, like, turning towards it is essentially like engaging in the conversation. Like, hey, I come in, talking about work. You like, man, like, what happened? Was it the boss? Was it such and such again? Was they tripping? And then we have a whole conversation about it. Turning against it would be like, man, work today was crazy. Hey, can you hand me that thing that's on the table over there? So it's completely like dismissing your opportunity to try to express your day, or, so what happens.
A lot of people do this.
Yeah, I say that to say, like, in a lot of times in relationships, like, for men, we're not necessarily expressing ourselves in the traditional way.
Right.
It's not always like, hey, I'm stressed out. Yeah, I'm stressed out about work. Such and such is doing this. Sometimes it's like, man, something about today is just not going right. Like, it's not always the formal traditional way. It could be in the shape of like, just anything. Like, we have to. Basically, what I'm saying is sometimes like those bids are not in the traditional way, and it's up to our partner to learn enough about the other person to understand when they're trying to bid.
I know a lot of married men, and one of the biggest problems, and I don't think women know this shit, and this is what you really need to listen to. I'm dead serious. Don't get too comfortable always unpacking your shit on your husband, because he's going through some shit It could be heavier than what you're dealing with, and you just are way too fucking comfortable unpacking your shit. It could be something minor like, oh my God, I went to Hobby Lobby. They didn't have the color I wanted. I'm so pissed off and blah, blah, blah. And you don't know that a buddy of his from a childhood friend just got killed in a drive-by or something. Or you may know about it, but it's like he's handling it so well, you assume you could just dump your shit off, when in actuality, you need to be cognizant of the fact that he's not expressing that all the way, because he might not even feel comfortable about doing it. And that says a lot about you. You should feel like your husband should be able to talk to you. Like you should be not so much offended, but you should be trying to find a way to help him have better mental health. I don't think anyone gives a fuck about men's mental health. And when you bring it up, they're like, oh God, poor men, men's mental health. Oh God. Well, a man, especially a man that is a decent man, there is a stress that comes with providing for your family and being the head of your household and raising kids and paying every bill in the fucking house and doing a dangerous job. I know a lot of men. There's a guy that I know, he's a fuel hauler too. And he just had a newborn. And when he comes home after a long day of work, his wife handing the baby right away. And,
oh, wow. Are you serious?
And this is a job, mind you, truck driver is a job that if you don't get adequate sleep, you can fucking die. I said, hey, man, you getting sleep? He was like, oh, man, like I'm trying to get sleep, man. It's tough. I was like, really? He said, yeah, when I get back, the wife, she hand me the kid. It's my turn. I was like, bro, I just told him straight. I said, did your wife not know that if you don't get sleep, then you won't be coming back home?
She apparently don't care.
And he was like, hey, man, you'll understand one day when you have kids. Well, here's the difference between me and him is this. My wife won't be handing me a fucking baby if I got to sleep to provide. Yeah. If you want me to fucking die, I'll watch the baby and I'll never be able to make it to his 18th graduation.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But that's the type of stress we deal with as men. Is I know dudes that work 16 to 18 fucking hours on a drilling rig that almost lost their finger, or some guys that have lost fingers in the oil fields, and they get home and their wife is like, oh my God, you'll never guess what happened to me. It's so annoying.
I've been dealing with the baby all day.
Well, guess what? I almost fucking died at work today.
Yeah.
I almost lost my fucking finger working 17 hours.
That's the thing. The thing for me is that objectively there's a hierarchy of stresses.
Right.
So you gave that example about Hobby Lobby. A Hobby Lobby compared to your boy getting shot is just
it's so fucking far.
Yeah. So that Hobby Lobby situation is cool. You got to express some stuff, get some stuff off of your chest. Right. But you just got to be mindful of who you're talking to.
That's just in general. That's in general. I don't want to suppress women and tell them, oh, just shut up. Like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm saying, before you try to unpack your shit, make sure the person's okay. That's in general. I don't be like, I don't walk with the people and be like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, I'm good. They're like, oh man, you never guess what happened to me.
That I'm good is like I guess putting it in dry for them so they could express all this Hobby Lobby issues.
I hate when people come to me with trivial problems and they make it like it's the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with real shit. I've had people complain to me about little just knick-knack, this bullshit, right? And I had just found out that my dad had terminal cancer. And I'm coping with that. And then you telling me like, yeah, it's so messed up, man. They doing this and that. I really want to tell you, like, I want to slap you or tell you to shut the fuck up. But I'm not going to do either. I'm going to let you keep talking, right? And by the way, I'm not talking about slapping women. There's some dude that I'm giving it as an example. But it's just weird how people do not ever take the time. And I think it's a habit. I think that they've been allowed to express themselves. That's another thing that women need to watch. Is your whole life you've been able to express your feelings, and there are people who will give you hugs and support and tell you it's going to be okay, but you do not ever see men with the same convenience.
Yeah.
We don't fucking have it. We just don't. If we started crying in the middle of nowhere, people would be like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this? Is he on drugs? What's he doing? What's going on with him?
I think one thing that I was talking to my boy the other day, and he was just going through some stuff with his relationship, and I was just like, man, I think I was joking, but I was like low key serious. I was like, man, we need like a support group for ourselves, because he's expressing to me about how, you know, certain issues in his relationship, you know, also relating to like mental health stuff. It's not like, it doesn't work for him. Like he tries to, you know, he tries to be there. He tries to work on himself, but it's just not working. And one of the things he was saying was like, if I try to give this person some space, then it looks like I'm leaving. But if I'm there, like I put myself in a bad mood. So I was just like, basically it's a lose-lose situation. So I was just like, man, I think it would be dope, because, you know, a lot of us feel that like the same way you do. I think it would be dope for like men just to be able to chop it up. And obviously we do this kind of stuff on a podcast, but just to, you know, just to chop it up and have like some sort of support system. Cause I feel like men, we do chop it up, but it has to get to the most extreme. I think women could be like, they'll easily pick up the phone and be like, boy, girl, you don't know what he just did today. Yeah. But I think men, we hold on to it until it's just like, man, I'm about to get a divorce. Like, it's ugly out here.
There is an uncountable amount of platforms that allow women to express themselves. And they are venting like, men are just not on our level, and men are this, and this is crazy, and men are that. You got The View, and you got all these other shows where it's a panel of women talking, and all of this. That really doesn't exist with men.
Yeah.
What's the male comparable to The View?
I don't know.
There's nothing.
There's one, yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Women have the platform to express themselves and have a whole audience of women that are clapping. Like, men are just worthless. Clap, 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 clap. Men don't get it together. Clap, 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 clap. And it's like, what is this? Like, this is like, and some of it is like, it's shaded as feminism, but that's not feminism.
Yeah, bashing men is not feminism.
Bashing men is not feminism. That's just male hate.
Yeah.
I think also you have to be careful. Like, I don't think that you should, I think that you should value women, but I think that more women need to step up and value men and what men have to offer. It doesn't make you less of a woman to say, hey, I appreciate those crew of 40 construction workers that have been working on the highway for the past 2 years. I've been seeing them from sun up to sundown using pickaxes and shovels all day long. So when you say men are worthless or men are not on our level, I want you to look at those men and tell them that. Go up to a crew of construction workers that have been working 17 hours, that have traveled to be away from their families, and tell them that they're worthless.
Or the guy that's I don't know if he's your coworker or not, but somebody that you see around the truck, you know, space, that's working and then coming home and taking care of the baby. Like, tell him that. Like, yo, you're not doing nothing. You're just worthless.
I think that people are suffering from like proximity issues. And what I mean by that is, if you ever hear a dude and the dude said, man, these hoes ain't shit, or you hear a woman that say, man, men are worthless or men are trash, they're looking at their experience as reality.
Yeah.
Like, you need to do better. That's the problem. The problem is that your experiences have came because of the energy that you're on and the energy that you accept. So you've made a choice to allow these people to like infiltrate your energy. You can't blame nobody but yourself. I empathize with women from a sense of like, I know maybe your child's father is a piece of shit. Maybe he don't pay child support. Maybe he's a loser. Maybe he don't respect women, all that stuff, right? I empathize from that far, but don't you dare put that idea on everybody. Dude.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I think the thing that's sad for me is hearing your boy's situation, like that he's adopted that mentality himself.
Right.
Like, it's not even just society. It's like he's probably heard, you know, hey, you have to be the father. You have to be the father. You have to work. You have to provide. He's probably heard that so much that he thinks it's normal to have to work 15 hours and then come home and take care of the kids. It's only 24 hours in a day, man.
Let me tell you something here. For a lot of people that buy into this whole men are trash or whatever, there's a dude that I met, and I forgot where I met him. It was in LA, but I can't remember what city. And I was picking up a load. I was doing dry van that day. I was pulling a 53 footer, and I ran into a dude that was pulling for, I think he was pulling for FedEx. I could be wrong, but he was an over the road guy. So when you're over the road, you're not ever home. You might get maybe a day or two home a month max. And and I asked him for some help to help me with something. Something was going on with the fifth wheel, and I had him come over and help me out. And I was like, I appreciate it. So then we start talking. And during the conversation, he told me that, like, man, he talked about his kids don't like him. None of his kids like him. Mm-hmm. He said, my kids don't like me. He's like, my wife she don't really like me either. I was like, how long you been over the road? He said, shit, pretty much their whole life. He's like, I got one that's 23. He said, I got one that's 19. I got one that's 17. And they already don't like me. So he has sacrificed a relationship with his children to provide for them. And they fucking hate him. So it's crazy. And I'm thinking about it, and it's like, yo, like, this is the type of shit that men go through. Mm-hmm. Is that over-the-road truck. Do you know how many over-the-road truck drivers that I know that have came home to their wife sucking a dick when they got home? One of the dudes blamed himself for not being there. He's like, I was never really home, so I get it. So you blaming yourself? No, you didn't have a solid wife, bro. It's just crazy how much how many men that I know that I've talked to, countless amounts of truck drivers that have mentioned how they've been cheated on by their wife and how they got divorces. One driver also told me he was about to marry this woman, and $84,000 came up missing from his bank account. Mm-hmm. $84,000. And I just felt bad for him because the guy just didn't look happy. He was really overweight, and he just looked depressed. Yeah. And this is the type of shit that goes on. Mm-hmm. And no one gives a fuck.
Nobody cares.
Like, my thing is I care about women's mental health. Mm. I care about, them from the aspect of also, I wouldn't be where I am today without women. I'm talking about my aunts.
Yeah, for sure.
The women in my family who have helped me even be where I am. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think enough women really give a fuck about men. And I think that this idea of, not even feminism now, just the nonchalant comments made just makes me believe that, like, yo, this shit is just not okay.
Yeah, that's so sad, man. And the thing about it too is that I feel like I start stuttering right there. But the thing about it too is
Chippendales Rescue Rangers. Remember that show?
Yeah. The thing about it too is there's a lot of these like mental health advocates out here. They're preaching to the masses about what we should do and how people can get seek therapy and all this kind of stuff. But the ready and available situations for a lot of these things, people are not doing. I don't think that, as we talked about relationships, like for your boys' mental health or any of those truck drivers' mental health, the best thing their partners could do in those situations is hold down the house and not step out on them. But, because they're a man and because they're on the road and they're providing, that's some sort of crime in there, or that justifies, or that gives them the license to go out and, suck some dick or whatever. That's just kind of what happens.
Just honestly, I would say the average person's not built for a relationship. That's not an indictment on women. I just think the average person mm-hmm. is not built for a relationship, mm-hmm. Especially in this new day and age. I think that, people are infatuated with options. I think that they're looking for any reason to step out. I think that people aren't whole by themselves. I don't think that people even know who they are. I think the average person has not even spent a year single. Some mm-hmm. people within 4 months, 2 months, they're already with the next motherfucker. So they're basically,
they don't even know themselves.
They don't even know themselves. They're basically they're taking every toxic trait from each person. Carrying.
It's like a connecting flight.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like Delta. Like fucking Delta. Stop bringing Spirit Airlines to this relationship. Okay. So it's like, the average man. Yeah, the average person's not built for it. And when you leave and you do like, there's certain situations or scenarios that reveal the seriousness of a person. I think this is true for men and women.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to my boy, and he was kind of venting to me, and I was telling like the thing that you told me. You were saying like everybody is cool, you know. Obviously, like you start off cool, and you'll probably have a good idea of like, you know, your partner, and if that will be a potential like a boyfriend or girlfriend. But everybody's situational, so you don't know exactly, you know, the true character of that person until you're put into specific situations, and that situation may only arise, you know, that after she's your fiance or after he's, you know, your fiance.
It could take
or whatever.
years. It could take years, man. There's so many things, and I'll sneak this in there before we close this topic out. And there's another statement that I've been hearing a lot that's so fucking inaccurate, and it's men are intimidated by strong women, right? That's another one it's just inaccurate. Like, what's weird is men need a woman they could lean on when shit gets fucked up. We need to know that you're not gonna fucking run off when times get tough. It takes a strong woman to stand right there with you and not run the fuck off when all the money's gone.
84,000.
Yeah, you know what I mean? In addition to, if we die, we need a woman that can carry on our legacy and not make us look stupid when we're not here anymore. So the whole notion of just all this shit that's going around is just bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's just the overall idea. Just something to think about, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Switching gears. The Cleveland Guardians. Recently, the Cleveland Indians went under a name change. There's some people that are unhappy about it, but there's that. Here's why Cleveland chose Guardians for the new name. Cleveland selected Guardians as this new name, team name beginning in 2022 on Friday, culminating a project that saw nearly 1,200 potential choices to replace their franchise's previous moniker. Friday's announcement came 7 months after Cleveland announced it would discontinue the use of Indians and its mascot following the 2021 season. In 2019, Cleveland announced it would stop the use of Chief Wahoo logo on its uniform. So how did Cleveland land the Guardians as its new team name? The mascot pays homage to the Guardians of Traffic statues near the Progressive Field in Cleveland, located on the Hope Memorial Bridge. Cleveland owner Paul Dolan noted Friday he hopes the name Guardians helps unify our fans and city. Okay, there's a lot of pushback for this from people. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe cancel culture and people are they're so sensitive and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dog, when we start talking, we never reference the historical context of things. We always look at the current moment and say that people are overreacting, right? What if we had a team called the Washington White Boys? What if we had a team called the Carolina Karens, right?
Carolina Karens.
The thing is that, like, if Native Americans have a fucking problem with it, why the fuck has it not been changed? Here's the thing. 90% of Native Americans died from smallpox. You almost wiped out a whole, and just us showing up to the native land with measles and different diseases almost wiped them the fuck out. And we turned them into a mascot.
Yeah.
Like, what if we had the New England slaves, right? Like, people, like, it's weird that you're mad that they want to take a logo off, but it's a stereotypical logo. Yeah. A big nose, red skin with a fucking feather in his head. And it doesn't stop there. We have this fascination with these logos. Like, you got the Florida Seminoles, and the song for them is whoa, 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 like, that's the song. Then you got the Chicago Blackhawks. Then you got the Cleveland Indians. Then you got the Washington Redskins.
Yeah. The football team now.
Yeah, Washington football team now. And they're like, oh, since the woke culture and the woke culture. And it's like, well, let's be clear. People don't always have to be okay with something that started off demeaning. Back in the day, they had a soap pad called Nigger Boy Soap Pad. Yeah. And it's a picture of a black kid, but it's actually from a minstrel show with blackface and red lips to sell products. They got don't listen to me, YouTube listeners or viewers or SoundCloud. Go to Google, look up Nigger Boy toothpaste, look up Nigger Boy soap pad, and that's what was on there. Mm-hmm. But when the name like Cleveland Indians, for some reason, that shit stuck. And here we are in today's world, and we're like, when you do something wrong for so long, you just think it's right.
Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of those, and obviously it's primarily white people that don't want the name change, but that's how they've operated throughout history. Like, right. You know, I'm sure there was some people that didn't want to end slavery because it's just what they grew up on. Like, yeah,
it's Southern values. The South will rise again. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of slave. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bit of slave and grind. Yeah, I think there's.
Wait, is that an R. Kelly?
It's R. Kelly. Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with a little slave and grind.
That's crazy.
Man.
Slavery's part of my heritage.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh man, just imagine if you remade some of these songs. I believe I can slave. Damn.
Oh man.
Oh man. That's
what's the name of his album? What 12 Play or something like that?
Yeah.
What if it was just called 12 Slaves?
Oh dang. Oh man.
Yeah, but shout out to
crazy times, man.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it's one of those things that people. I think we said this when we spoke to Chris Flail. Like, people just don't like change when something is comfortable. And this is like a character trait. I think that some people, I'm sure those people that, you know, are disappointed in the name change are people that love routines. They love, waking up, getting their coffee, reading the newspaper, heading to work. They get home, do the same thing the next day, 5 days a week. So when something disrupts that, it's probably uncomfortable for them. So
that's a fact.
Also, the same thing with this name change. I think that, first of all, they're uncomfortable with change, and then secondly, they're just indirectly speaking to their racist, nature. And I think that's like, because I seen some guy that was like same thing you said, like, oh, this is woke culture, cancel culture is getting our favorite teams out there. And one guy was even saying like, this is actually like, not inspiring, but they were saying something about just promoting Native American culture or something like that. Like, meanwhile, there's like 50 Native Americans standing outside of all these stadiums, telling them to change the name.
Change it down, but you ain't giving a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the thing. And when Keith mentioned white people, I think people will stop right there and be like, oh God, two black guys talking about white people. Mm-hmm. They just being racist. There they go. Let's be clear. Black people have never had the fucking power to say, we're going to make a logo. First of all, ain't no black people owning no teams, right?
Yeah.
And they're not having the power to come out with a team called the Cleveland Caucasians, okay? Yeah. So there's only, as far as the power dynamic or the power of the element of it, is black people have never had, Native Americans and black people have never had the power to own a team and call it another race.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Native Americans came out with a team and they called it, I don't even know. The Baltimore Bobs. I don't know. Think about how weird that'd be if it just be a logo of a white dude with a comb over named Bob.
Yeah.
And he's the fucking logo.
Or I think that, like, just in general, like, I don't know if there's like an archetype for white people, but maybe like a subset of Caucasians, like Italians or something like that.
No, you can't do Italians. That's a totally different culture.
They're still considered white though. What I'm saying is it leans more into like, what there's an archetype for, like, the whole tank top and the slick back. Like, what if that was the mascot?
You could have the New Jersey Tonys.
The New Jersey Tonys.
Hey, Tony! Hey, I got a football team. And the mascot
would be spinning pizzas like.
Hey, Tony! I got a fucking football team now. We're coming up in the world, Tony. Here's my Uncle Paulie. The movies depict the Italians so stereotypical.
Yeah.
It's always a motherfucker named Paulie, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, there are people like, well, these guys just talked about white people being racist, and then they made fun of Italians.
Yeah.
I could see people in the comments, man. That's the thing that's funny about YouTube is people will hate listen. Like, they'll enjoy what you're saying as long as you're saying things that mirror how they feel. But then when you talk about something else, they're like, they want to cancel the whole person. Mm-hmm. There's some people that I not the fondest of, but I still found truth in what they're saying. Like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro, he says a lot of bullshit, but he says a lot of things that I agree with. So I don't cancel him as a whole person. Even Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is a buffoon most times, but she said some shit that was true. But I just think people lack the objectivity. They're going to look at us and be like, they're making fun of Italians. My mom, I'm third generation Italian.
Yeah.
I love pizza. Nah, I think if you did that, it would be like a cannoli or something. Like a cannoli or I'm tripping. When you said Tony's, you thinking of the actual pizza company.
No, I was that wasn't. I didn't make that connection, but I was just saying like that would be like the stereotypical mascot for an Italian. Yeah,
that'd be fucked up. You know, somebody thinking about black folks. Like, what would it be for black people?
What would it be?
I don't know. They probably say it'd be like a gun or something. Like that.
The Georgia guns.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. It'd be some stereotypical. The worst I think every race has the worst stereotype.
That would be
like they all have the worst one. Black people is like violence and fried chicken or some bullshit. White people is like I don't know, privilege and comb overs and racism and shit. And then,
that would be wild. If that, what if we just what if instead of changing the Indians, we just made other teams like different races too?
Oh yeah.
You have like the Cleveland Crips or something.
Oh dang!
the New Orleans Norteños.
What if they call, like, if you were in like in San Diego, it'd be like the San Diego Walls? That'd be hella fucked up. That'd be fucked up.
Man.
The Baltimore Blackies.
The Baltimore crack epidemic.
Oh my God, that's bad. Hashtag cancel Keith. Cancel Keith 2021.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. But I think the name is pretty clever. It comes from having actual statues of guardians near the highway, which I think is dope. And I think the logo is fucking dope. I'm totally gonna buy that hat.
Yes, it looks good, man.
Yeah, I like it. I was a big hat guy. Like, I still wear hats now, obviously, but I was I'm more of a hat guy back in high school. Mm-hmm. I had so many hats. I had like the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees and the Dodgers. I had every fucking hat.
Yeah,
I had so many hats.
What happened? They just kind of.
I don't even really know. I think I just had them for a while. They got old. I started tossing them.
Yeah.
But really, if you have good fitted hats, you can keep them for a very long time. Oh yeah.
It's, obviously you be seeing guys at the Dodger games with hats they've had for 30, 40 years. Yeah.
Yes. As long as you like take care of them, you clean them and you put them away. Mm-hmm. If you sweating in them regularly, you're gonna have to toss them out.
Yeah,
because
sweat sets in.
That part in the build starts stinking.
Yeah,
like this is. Well, I just recently got this hat.
You just I was like, I seen that's a snapback.
Yeah, it's a snap.
That's clean.
Yeah, I was like, I never want to get Dodger snapbacks, but this looks like a fitted from the front.
Yeah, it does. You can't tell until you turn it around.
Mm-hmm. So I think they did a good job of like taking the shaping of the hat and making it. Mm-hmm. And the bill kind of shapes naturally too. Mm-hmm. Instead of you having to like fold it, but with a snapback, because of the back, it kind of like bends it a little bit.
Yeah. Bending it from the back, huh?
Yeah, bending it from the back like a Dodger cap. Twerk something for a real nigga.
For a 6'2" nigga.
Yeah. Not your 5-foot boyfriend. I'm not your 5-foot boyfriend over here.
Oh man,
that'd be crazy. But it'd be fucked up. What if you like 6'5"? This would be fucked up because I just talked about the whole shaming tactic and how it's not okay to shame men. But what if you like 6'5" and your dick is like this?
Dang.
Now you just a 6'5" nigga with a little ass penis.
We talked about not assuming though. Don't make no assumptions. Just be surprised when he let his pants down and it's 2 inches.
What if he like, I'm finna tear your ass up, and the girl's like, oh my God, I'm so scared, and then he pulled it out, and then I just went home. That's crazy.
I'm sure it'd be a lot of, especially like guys in the NBA, because there's this idea that, pretty much everybody in the NBA is 6 foot and above. You got 7-footers on the court, dudes like 6'11" and stuff. So I'm sure it's been a lot of like disappointed females. Like, man, he was 6'8", but when he got into the bedroom, he was
didn't 6'8", but he got in the bedroom, he was 5'6".
Yeah, that was crazy.
All right, man. Switching gears. Content creators having expectations. Just last week, me and Keith put up a YouTube video for the very first time, just trying to expand the content to a whole new platform. Mm-hmm. And moving to YouTube, we just didn't have expectations. We just felt like our only objective is to spread this content on as many platforms as possible. So the people that do listen, they could tell a friend and tune in, and we could get that organic growth, right? But a lot of content creators act like they got the best shit ever, and if you don't listen to it, then you a hater. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's counterproductive. There are some content creators that even tell you how you should consume their content. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Mm-hmm. You all you can do is put out the content, do your best, make sure you're not wasting the listener's time, and then put it out. Like, even now, like me and Keith, we have these conversations, but we try to be organized. We have notes and things of that nature, because that's what really matters. What really matters is the people that take the time day in, day out to listen to your shit. They could be doing anything else, but the fact that they listen to your punk ass, you should be a little bit more respectful to people.
Yeah.
But a lot of content creators like, ain't enough people listening, and they not doing this and they not doing that. Like, you're never going to make it with that attitude.
Yeah. And also, don't be telling your people that are like, giving you good feedback, don't tell them what to do. No. Like, if we have on every app that is in your phone, there's some sort of sharing mechanism. You know what I mean? Whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whatever, there's sharing features everywhere. So we understand, as consumers of, electronics, Androids, iPhones and stuff, we understand if we really want to share something with somebody, if it's dope, if it's information, if it's something conducive to their life or whatever the case may be, we know and fully understand how to do that. Mm-hmm. But don't, there's some times where people will get on Instagram and they'll be trying to force you to, like, if you, you hit somebody in their inbox and be like, yo, that's dope. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you're doing, whether it's a music video or a piece of art or whatever. And then they'll be like, hey, I appreciate it. Could you go subscribe to my YouTube channel? It's just like, I get it. That's part of.
Let me do that on. Let me do it by myself.
Yeah, exactly. But don't be and even like, we used to do it, also as far as like sharing the podcast and stuff like that. But I think even that is played out now. Like,
yeah, we don't do
I had somebody that they were like sharing content with me, and it was like, at first it was cool. Like, I'm like, yo, of course I'll support you. I'm gonna subscribe to your channel and stuff like that. But then it happened like a couple more times, and I'm like, yo, bro, like, this content is not even like my interest. Like, it's not anything that I would actually watch outside of like what you got going on. So I'm just like, like, save that. Let people come to you organically. And I think that's what we've been trying to create over here.
Ultimately, like, quite a while ago, towards the beginning of the podcast, I would just send people links. I would just like get a group of people and just send them links and just send them links and then send them links. I did that for weeks, and then I just stopped doing it, right? And my purpose behind that was, I didn't want to overly solicit the podcast, but I had to let people know that, hey, I have a podcast. It exists. There's still a lot of people that don't even know that we have a podcast. Yeah. Right. And I think over time, people finally click one of those links that I sent them and was like, wow, this is actually good. Yeah. This is actually two guys that give a fuck about having conversations. Let me check them out. Yeah. But it took that. And then now we don't, the numbers are continuing to go up higher and higher and higher. This is the highest the numbers have ever been. Right. And it just took the test of time and people actually giving a fuck. Yeah. Okay. For example, this is the type of feeling I want people to have. So listen up. This is exactly how I want people to feel when they listen to the podcast. Just yesterday, I found this kid, right, that he's like rock and roll and rap. His name is Mario Judah. Have you heard of him? Okay. Well, this kid named Mario Judah, he has some song. He remixed this song by Trippie Redd and I forgot who else. It's called Mr. Rage, right? and he remixed it, and I just hear him screaming. I was like, this guy sounds kind of dope. So I went through a little wormhole and listened to his music, and I'm like, this dude is fucking dope. So I'm going through songs, I'm listening to the next song. I'm like, yo, this shit is dope. This guy is like a rock and roll artist almost, but he's like rapping too. And I'm like, this shit is cool. But that's how I want people to feel when they get to the podcast. I want them to have an experience like, wow, this is dope. This is something I could listen to in the morning. I could share this link with my friends. If Eddie or Keith says something that was pretty thought-provoking, boom, let me send this to my cousin. They need to hear that. Like, that's the type of reception that I want us to have. So you can't get that type of reception if you bugging people all the time. If you're trying to force people to listen to your content to a certain way. If you're having these crazy expectations. What you have to understand is when you first start anything, no one gives a fuck. You're not Drake. You're not any of these people with a big platform. You are a local podcaster, a local artist, whatever you are.
Without a cosign also.
Without a cosign. You just a dude right now. So just put that energy, instead of being mad at people for not catching your platform, put that energy into getting better microphones. Put that energy into getting better audio equipment for your music that you're trying to put out. Put that energy into being a better creative.
I think one thing that I sort of started doing with the podcast, obviously I love, just having conversations about stuff, but one other shift that I had in just the way I approached it was as an example of all the Gary V's and the Eric Thomases and all these, the Russes and all these guys, like, yo, just keep putting out content and people will find it. All these things that you see on Instagram or whatnot. I just had to see if it was real. You know what I mean? Because it sounds cool just saying it. Obviously, these people are famous. They have recouped a lot of money. They're wealthy. And it sounds good. It just sounds good rolling off your tongue as far as just kind of speaking to a camera or whatever. Right. But I was like I had to see for myself, is this legit? So, for me, if we, when we get to where we're trying to go, I can say the same thing. I can say like, yo, I looked up to these people or I listened to these people speak. I just, stayed at it. I, invested in myself, blah, blah, blah. And this is the results of that. So.
Yeah, but I think that's becoming less and less true in regards to just put out content, people to catch it. Instagram is one motherfuckers to pay for ads now. And they were talking about this on the podcast, like that back in the day you could put out content and it would grow organically. But no one's really going viral anymore or growing their platforms like that because they want you to pay for that shit. Yeah. Like now I post something and if that post goes crazy, they're like, you should promote this. Yeah. They just want bread. Yeah. Which is crazy.
But I don't think that promote, well, I don't know exactly, but I feel like for me, when I see something that's, that goes crazy, it's always from people sharing it in some shape or form. Like even I think the most recent Instagram comedian that I've seen rise is Xavier TV.
Yeah, he's one of them.
And a lot of that happened organically.
But he got a cosign too.
That's what I'm saying. Like people was just sharing it in inbox and somehow it ended up in like a Bino Redo's inbox or, whatever other LA rapper or whatever. And then, all of a sudden you start going crazy. So, but I'm saying like, that's what I see more so. Cause the promoted posts that I do see, 90% of the time is just not good content.
No, it's not. And here's the thing, man. What I mean by that too is Instagram controls the amount of attention and likes that you get for the content you put out. That's a fact. And I heard Andrew Schultz talking about it. Shout out to Andrew. But what I noticed too is like if I post something to the story, I post it with intention of reaching the people that follow the Instagram page. And there's some times where it's getting a bunch of different eyes on it, which is what I want just to get the content out. And there's other times where it's like Instagram restricts it. I remember one time I posted something from the podcast and in like 23 hours, only like 26 people seen it.
That's crazy.
And then I sent them a message. I said, hey, you guys need to stop shadow banning the content. This is getting ridiculous. Because you could send them a suggestion or whatever it is. And then the next day I posted something and it got like 240 people looking at it. And I was just like, wow. So I wonder if Instagram, like people that work there really see it. One time, this is how I know Instagram is watching everything and that they're controlling and how it's becoming worse for content creators. I posted this meme. It was this girl that was like, she would think she was Muslim, but she was thick, right? She had a big old booty, and it said like, "Girl, you looks good once you bag that ass up," and it said like the country, like Baghdad, but she was like almost in a twerk position, and I posted it like as a joke, and it said it flagged it like immediately. It said Islamophobia or something like that. Like it stopped it, and it was in red. It wouldn't even let me post it.
That's crazy.
I was like, how are they seeing this? So there's a group of people that work for Instagram that are blocking shit off. And then here's the thing. Instagram's weird too because they'll shadow ban a content creator, but there'll be somebody with their nipple showing through a t-shirt and they don't get flagged.
Yeah, with the ass showing.
I'm talking about like vagina lips showing through leggings. And you seeing girls walking around with a big wop. And that's appropriate content?
Yeah.
What it is it's not appropriate, but it's driving their numbers.
It keeps people engaged.
It keeps people engaged because men are like zombies. They be like, titties, ass, titties,
Yeah.
Men are pathetic. Like, they're pathetic from a sense that they can't control their urge.
Squirrels, huh?
Yeah, they're like squirrels on nuts. Like, they can't control their urge to keep... They follow any Instagram model or influencer with nice titties and a nice ass. They just follow and follow and follow and follow.
You know what I get annoyed, especially here locally, like when this person could actually be like somebody you haven't met like through shooting videos or somebody that's actually your friend, and then you see like the same guys popping up on every single girl's like thing. You just like, yo, like I know for a fact you don't know this person.
No.
So
we got to do a better job of controlling ourselves, man.
Yeah.
Just in general. Like we've all had times where I've talked about when I was being thirsty on Instagram and following every chick with nice titties and a big booty and liking photos and putting like, back in the day, put like a peach emoji in the comments or some shit. Yeah. That's ridiculous. That wasn't even me.
Yeah.
That's not even me. So
that was horny Eddie.
Yeah, that was super horny Eddie. I was subscribed on Facebook. I was subscribed to thick black and brown women, thick Latinas.
I remember I would see your likes. The likes would show on Facebook.
Likes would always show on Facebook. Eddie likes thick Latinas.
I'd be like, this man's wild.
And I'll be like, and it was embarrassing that people were seeing that.
That's crazy.
I unsubscribed to all that shit. I'm not even on dating sites. I'm off everything, dude.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, man.
Thick Latinas. Eddie liked it. Yeah. I think that social medias did a terrible job at privacy for people early on. There was before my cousin actually came out, I knew that he was gay because when you look at, there was like a section on Instagram where you could see the stuff that people like.
It's still there, I think.
No, that section that I'm talking about
shows
is
the
not,
pictures they liked.
No, it's not there no more. The thing that I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you mean though.
But he was liking guys' pictures. It was like a bunch of Justin Bieber looking niggas. Yeah, and then I was like, oh dang, it's my man's just, you know what I'm saying? My man's is gay. But he didn't come out until a while later. And I just think for somebody, maybe he didn't want to come out at a certain time, or like, I didn't press him about it. I didn't even speak to him about it. But if he was, having this rollout for his, his coming out or whatever, it kind of like ruined it. You know what I mean?
I remember back in the day, like some people you could tell that they have some tendencies, because I remember I used to follow The Game back in the day, and I unfollowed him after I seen that picture where he posted his drawers with his dick print all out.
Yeah, that's a lot of niggas that unfollowed him during that era.
Yeah, I totally unfollowed him. But then you'll see one of the dudes that you might think might be gay, and they hit the like button.
Nah. Niggas hitting the like on a dick pic.
Oh, man. The Game is weird, man.
He's a strange person.
Yeah, he's very strange guy. Let's hurry and wrap this up, because I know you got to get out of here. We'll finish with this one last quick episode.
I think I'm good. They moved
They did?
till tomorrow. So
really?
We could rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, we do this podcast. We love doing it, but I'm very cognizant of people having things to do. Keith's trying to make some big moves in his life, man, and I'm pulling for him. All right.
Sorry, I was reading that text. My bad.
Yeah, so Keith didn't give a fuck about what I said.
I turned against your bid.
That was a sentence. Yeah, you sure did. You'd be like, how about them Dodgers? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm trying to, we're trying to elevate out here, man.
Imagine if you ignored a woman. Like, imagine if you just give a woman just so much pleasure. She's like, oh my God, I'm having an orgasm. You'd be like, oh, how about them Dodgers? You see,
turning against during sex. That's wild.
She's like, oh my God. You'd be like, oh man, he just hit a home run. It's a home run now.
It's the most hilarious experience that we have about turning against. And you guys, like, for you guys out there, and like I said, this book is called The Relationship Cure. It's not necessarily about romantic relationships. Like, even if you're having like issues with your mom or issues with your siblings or whatever, like also your girlfriend, wife, whatever, the book is interesting. It's not the end all be all. Like, it's not going to, fix all of your issues in a relationship, but it's one thing that it just kind of promotes a healthy way of communicating with your partner. But I suggest, anybody out there to read it. It's called The Relationship Cure.
All right, Keith. Stop plugging books, man. Got things to do. All right, switching gears. Dr. Dre paying his wife.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna, and this situation. There's a situation where we was helping someone move, and I can't say the situation exactly, but maybe one day. You know what I'm talking about?
Keep going.
We were moving the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. And yeah. I can't say the situation, but maybe one day on the podcast. That's the best example of turning against someone that
my God,
that I've seen.
That shit was fucking epic, man. That shit was textbook. Jesus Christ, person might as well have been dead to him. Fuck.
Man. Okay, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
All right. Switching gears. Dr. Dre has to pay his wife $300,000 a month. All right, that's what the judgment is now, and that is going to be until until he dies or she dies or she remarries, and I don't think she's going to do that. All right. Dr. Dre ordered to pay ex-wife Nicole $3.5 million a year in spousal support. Nicole Young will be receiving a substantial amount of money from Dr. Dre amid their divorce. A judge ordered the music mogul to pay Young $293,306 per month in spousal support, according to the reports. That's more than $3.5 million a year. While it's a good chunk of change for most people, the sum is much less than she requested in September. Dr. Dre's wife, now ex-wife, asked for $2 million per month. My God, what kind of human being is she? This is crazy. This is fucking evil.
Yeah.
The rapper will also cover the expenses of their Malibu and Pacific Palisades homes and will pay for Young's health insurance if she remarries or enters into a new domestic partnership. Their agreement will end. The couple shares 2 adult children, son Truce, whatever his name is, Truice, 24, and daughter Truly, 20. So custody and child support are not an issue.
That's the coldest part.
Yeah, Young he would be paying more if he had kids. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Young filed for divorce in June 2020 after 24 years of marriage, and the process has been anything but amicable. She accused the acclaimed producer of emotional and physical abuse, which he has strongly denied. Dr. Dre was declared legally single by a judge as his attorney powerhouse Laura Wasser filed a motion for bifurcation. She argued Young's false allegations of domestic violence demonstrate that the union is beyond repair. The divorce has yet to be finalized. My God. Look, man.
Oh, they're not even fully divorced yet?
Not yet. I guess not yet. But
damn.
I'll be completely honest, man. Fellas, if you have a woman that loves you and you pull out something like a, what do you call it? What the hell do you call those? Prenup.
Yeah.
If you pull out a prenuptial agreement, if she flips out over it, then it's like, I don't know, bro. You gotta.
Probably not for you.
Probably not for you, man.
Yeah.
Here, let me tell a story about Steven Jackson. I was gonna bring this up. I talked about it once, but Steven Jackson, ex-NBA player, had found a woman while he was in the league, and he loved her. And months before the wedding, he had a prenuptial agreement for her to sign. She didn't sign it yet. She said, I'll get to it later, babe. He said, okay. So a couple weeks go by. He asked her again, hey, did you get that paper signed? She's like, oh, damn, I forgot. I'll sign it though, babe. I got you. No problem. So she didn't sign it. So now they're doing like the reception and like they're getting all the stuff ready for the wedding and all of that. And he said, hey, don't forget that paper, babe. She's like, I got you. Trust me, I got it. So she basically, stalled him again. Mm-hmm. So now it's the day of the wedding. Mm-hmm. And before they get married, he says, baby, I really need you to sign this prenup. She says, look, I got it. I'm going to get to it right now. So before they get up, he asked her again, did you get it signed? And then she's like, no, I haven't. And he knew at that moment she was playing him.
She wasn't going to sign it.
She wasn't going to sign it. So he was crying on his wedding day in tears because he couldn't marry this woman because she was trying to fucking use him, right? But the story doesn't end there. He was crying and snot and shit coming out his nose. He was talking about this on the story, and I think Matt Barnes' mom was alive at the time. I think she was the one that was hugging him and telling him it's gonna be okay. And after that, her bridesmaid, right, that was basically one of their best friends, it turned into a divorce party basically. Mm-hmm. Everybody started turning up and shit. Everybody's having fun, and he said that he fucked his bridesmaid. So his soon-to-be wife that he didn't marry, one of her friends that was a bridesmaid was there, and he fucked her.
Yeah.
So it just tells you how crazy money will make people do things. Mm-hmm. That's not a normal situation for an average man, but once you get money, you got to watch your back. Because if you don't watch your back, the day you get married, you're going to have some woman trying to plot on you.
Yeah.
And so many people say like, oh, this is so false. Women do not want your money. We are independent. We don't want this. Like, don't speak for all women. It's a ton of women that's scamming dudes. There's a ton of women that's purposely not like trying to convince them not to sign these papers.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I did all the work and heavy lifting in my life, why the fuck do you deserve half of my shit when I'm not even in a relationship with you no more? Like, I shouldn't have to suffer. If this relationship no longer serves me, why do I need to pay you for it? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
I guess I did a little bit. I didn't do extensive research, but I was looking at Jeff Bezos' situation. Uh-huh. And when him and his, I don't know when they got married as far as like, and when the business was started, but I believe they got married before the business started. And they kind of started it together. Like she was on the board and stuff early on in the business. And obviously it grew to it might be $1 trillion business now. And, when they split up, it's like, yo, this is kind of, I guess that's a better situation for me. I don't necessarily know. Like she was part of the company. She had a stake in the company. So I don't understand why he still had to give her money.
That's crazy.
But either way, I think that situation is a little bit better. But for Dr. Dre,
that's too much.
He NWA and, signing Eminem and all, like the Chronic and all of this stuff was created from him, tapping on the MPCs, mixing these records on the board and whatnot. Just putting hundreds and thousands of hours into his craft in order to be that guy. And I think I think a woman's role in a relationship is invaluable. And I say that in the sense that there's no type of money you can put on that as far as raising the kids, taking care of the house and stuff like that. So I don't think that deserves a dollar amount when you exit the relationship, especially when you're old enough to have put something together on your own.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this much. What I'll do is because I'm not the type of dude that would be a complete dickhead. First of all, let's be clear. I wouldn't sign no prenup if I'm with my girl, right? And we doing bad, and let's say I'm trying to create this company, but we both eat noodles at night for dinner because we broke, right? And eventually, things get better. I make a lot of money, and somehow we get a divorce. I feel like she entitled to half. You was eating noodles with me. Mm-hmm. We was struggling together. So if we get a divorce, I feel like you entitled to half. I have no problem giving you half. If you were there with me since the inception of my business, and you were never after my money, I feel like you entitled to half. That's just my opinion. I'm sure a lot of men would disagree. But I'm not going to leave you assed out, because even in the darkest moment, I still love you enough to understand that you was there for me when I ain't have shit.
But what if you guys got a divorce because she cheated on you?
Then I ain't paying her a dime.
But if you don't got no prenup, then you can't make that.
You're
decision.
still entitled to pay somebody that cheats on you?
I don't think infidelity is. I don't think infidelity has anything to do with.
My God. My God. That's so fucked up. Because then at that point, like right now, Dr. Dre's ex-wife is probably not going to remarry because that's too much money not to do it. So
she's not going to die either.
No.
If she end up on life support, they just going to keep her on there for the rest of,
She's going to be getting $300K to be on life support. But right now, when she's with another dude, and she's kind of attractive still. So she's going to be somewhere fucking some 23-year-old guy. She's getting paid to fuck.
Yeah.
You paying your ex-wife $300,000 a month to go get fucked. That's what you're doing. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's not cool, man. And the way that these laws are set up, like marriage is like a legitimate business. Mm-hmm. There's people that have to pay money to get divorces. Mm-hmm. That's nuts, man.
That's expensive, man.
That's expensive. It's so crazy.
And they do, like, I know from my aunt's situation, like they'll do like a deep dive. So for her, they went back to the investment into the house that they bought. So like they'll pull up, receipts and stuff like, I paid for the washer machine, or I paid for the dishwasher and stuff like that. So, and then you get all that back if you have somebody to vouch for you.
I think if you really love someone, you need to have conversations about money. I think you need to have conversations about money and don't make assumptions of anything.
I think honestly, like, prenups just keep everything like clean. Mm-hmm. And I think in like Steven Jackson's situation, if a person is not willing to sign one, then they probably don't love you that much.
No.
And it doesn't matter where you're currently at. It's more about a future thing. But I also think that signing a prenup is an incentive to stay together, and that could be good or bad. But it's not necessarily like betting on things going wrong. It's just insurance.
I wonder if instead of like, as far as the prenup, having them sign it, but like having like them having a percentage of my company or something and paying them in some type of, like, if I give you 2% of my company.
Instead of giving cash.
No, sign a prenup, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to sign that, but I will allow like you to have 2% of my company. Or,
you could just if you give them that from the jump, then you don't have to do it when you guys get divorced. It could already be there.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd rather give you a percentage of my company, right? And then that's what you get.
Yeah.
Like, you getting that off top. Like, here's the thing.
That's what I was saying about Jeff Bezos. It's like she's already part owner of the company. So like, why did he have to give her more money?
That's why that prenup come in too.
Yeah.
So if you got a percentage of the company, then you don't need the fucking money.
And then she gave like
charity.
She gave it all away. I'd be like, man,
that's some rich people shit.
Yeah.
You're so fucking rich.
She got married so fast too.
Oh, she was already fucking that guy.
Yeah.
He was like a school teacher or something.
That's crazy.
He was really teaching her a lesson.
You ain't getting this type of dick from that local dude. Remember Kanye said that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Jeff Bezos' wife ain't loyal, man. That's crazy. I guess Jeff Bezos was on some bullshit too. I guess Jeff Bezos was like sending like.
Oh yeah, he wasn't. He was
little text messages.
He has too much power, man.
Yeah,
too much power.
Jeff Bezos could send a nude across Facebook, and then people will have it, and then all of a sudden that picture will be deleted, and every phone in your phone, every picture in your phone will be deleted.
Yeah, like, it's power, man.
The fuck is going on with Jeff, man?
Mm-hmm. But I do think that people should start having conversations about prenups based off of potential. Like, even for you, who knows when you will meet your partner. I think even if you met your partner tomorrow, you should have that conversation. Like, we have 62 views on YouTube right now, but like that conversation, I think is still important. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't take care of them or whatever. It just means that if you do happen to meet her tomorrow when we're in this current situation, and then all of a sudden a few investments from that you made or a few moves that you made have propelled you into being a multi-millionaire, and then, you know, things don't necessarily work out because 50% of marriages don't. It's just protecting yourself from that other person being spiteful. But if you, like you said, if you want to give something to them out the kindness of your heart, or if they just want to, you know, thug it out with you for the rest of your life.
The worst people are the ones who wrong you in some way and still end up being spiteful.
Yeah.
So like if you cheated on me and you hurt me, right? You hurt my feelings because you cheated on me and you're taking my money. What more can you fucking take from me? Like what more can you take? You cheated on me and you took my fucking money.
That's the thing, man. It's that's people. What people don't realize too is that they think it's a rich thing. They think it's something that is only reserved for millionaires. Like sometimes, you know, I know people in certain situations that they're not necessarily like super rich, but you know, they got a decent job, and somehow in those situations, like you may be making $100,000 a year, $90,000 a year, but excuse me, they may get the RV, or they may get the, you know, whatever, you know, they may get the car, they may get, you know, just certain things that just because they, you know, they got a good lawyer. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
That's crazy.
Well,
but just be careful out there, man. If you plan on being the next Dr. Dre, you know, but the crazy, he was already Dr. Dre. I think they met when he was probably like 24 or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
see, I mean, that's a slippery slope. You find the love of your life when you're at the peak of your life. Yeah. That's kind of like, you need to sign this prenup. I need to make sure you really love me.
Yeah, and the thing about it too, that like I want to reiterate, it doesn't matter when. Like you could be with somebody for 20 years and then all of a sudden y'all get a divorce and you think like, yo, it's cool. Like, you know, we've been together so long, like this is going to last forever. But, you know, my parents, they split when they was in their late 40s. You know, I know multiple people that have similar situations. They've been together for 20 years and then they just start growing apart. So,
yeah, man. Well, if you made it to the end of this podcast, man, we appreciate you and thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace.